industry and travel industry, they have their own compliances, but as far as security is concerned, these are the major areas that are in the focus right now. So moving on to the mobile threat model, basically threat modeling it's an analysis and modeling, and it's a process to identify and document threats, and find out their most appropriate countermeasures. This is all about threat modeling. It's all about how you identify all the threats and attack points, and find out the countermeasures. So let's understand what it is, what isn't the threat model. It's not the solution to all problems. The problems like insecure coding practices are not covered by threat modeling. Threat modeling is not talking about your insecure coding practices. You have to still be careful when you are coding your applications. It's not an exact science, so there is no one way to threat modeling. Of course, there are various processes for threat modeling, and we'll talk about one or two processes today, but there is no one way of threat modeling, so we have to be very careful. What it is, it's a repeatable process. Why we mention it's a repeatable process is basically once you have done this analysis, you can use the same analysis for various mobile applications, and this can be part of your development process, or whenever you develop these are the areas you can take care of whenever you develop the mobile application. It's a early risk detection and prevention process. Of course, many a times we come to know that, oh, we do not have many use cases at this point. How do you define this? Well, you can definitely do the brainstorming at this stage. You can keep keep the recordings of your brainstorming and use that at the later stage. Conduct at a design time. Of course, when you are designing, that is the base place. That doesn't mean that you cannot do the threat modeling at the later stage. You can also do the threat modeling if you are in a waterfall. If you follow the waterfall methodology, you can do this at the system testing time. So when you are done with the development, QA team can challenge the development by putting the threat model in place. It's an early threat and countermeasure detection and early risk treatment. Basically, risk treatment and or impact analysis are very much useful to the business people. At least they know that my application has these are the threats, and they have to be careful. Again, it's a simple process, pen and paper activity. In our world, people have forgot to think on paper. They just jump on code, or they use various softwares, but we still believe that thinking on paper is the best exercise, and that's what we normally do. So it's really a good practice to think on paper. It's a way to identify threats. It's a way to identify scenarios. It's a way to identify controls. So it's a way to identify threats that might find ways to access the application or its data. The scenarios that may result in damage or harm application data, and control that may block or detect the scenarios. So basically, if we look at it from the efforts perspective, this is prioritizing your security efforts, and this helps you and lead project leads and project managers to help prioritize their security efforts. And so this is really a good exercise one should do, at least for any applications, and we'll cover that today, wherein we'll talk about what if there is a very small use case you are implementing, how do you do the threat modeling, and if you are actually implementing a roadmap wherein you are implementing various applications for some enterprise, how exactly you can do the threat modeling. So we'll cover both of them. What are the areas of consideration? It's There are two levels we do the considerations. One is the application and architecture level, design and architecture level, wherein you have data transmission medium is the first area. Data on fly is something that we have to definitely consider. We cannot just get rid of that. Hardware component interception. This is really interesting. Now with the mobile world, you are also connecting to the various radio frequency devices, or you connect to NFC, you connect to QR code. So there are many local connectivity, and you have to definitely check and balance the hardware components. Third-party libraries, we cannot live without that, and most cases we have seen that there are there are very much possibilities of security flaws in third-party libraries, or even the application that you interact. Of course, this is not possible in iOS, but this is still possible in Android. So you should take care of that. Mobile data, the data storage and the process is basically your business logic at the mobile application layer. Of course, business purpose of the data and flow is another thing that you should take care of, and the type of data. Type of data could be your SQLite database, or your so basically offline storage, your file system, including configurations and assets that you store. You should be careful when you store them. So let's look at the pictorial view of this. Basically, we are talking about 4 level here. The first is infrastructure level risk that you have to one must identify, which is your carrier level and network. So we connect to the public Wi-Fi, unsecured Wi-Fi's. We connect through networks. We should be careful when we and consider them in the modeling. Hardware, as we discussed, there are various sensors available, and GPS and all. We should take care of that. Buggy OS is another major area. You never know what, sometimes you do not get to know where exactly the problem is, and the problem could be at the OS level. So it is better that we consider them whenever we are actually using the native APIs for developing. And of course, the application level wherein you have a third-party applications that the applications you use, or third-party libraries that you use, or third-party SDKs that you use for developing your use cases. So these are the 4 major areas that we should consider when we do the threat modeling. Before we get into the process, actually let's also look at the risk areas that are being identified